Our next speaker is Pamela Milgrim, and Pamela has she's a survivor, two-time survivor. She was born and raised in New York. She's an attorney for over 30 years, and she spent the first part of her legal career as a criminal prosecutor in Brooklyn and is now a maritime lawyer. All members of her family have been diagnosed with cancer, and she herself is a survivor of both thyroid cancer in 2000 and colon cancer in 2012. So, welcome. You're welcome. Ahoy.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to NYU and the organizers of this event for inviting me here today. I'm walking with a cane because I had a total knee replacement. So my cane has nothing to do with cancer, but it's just a part of life after cancer. So it's to tell you that even though I might have been through things earlier in my life that were cancer related, that didn't stop my health issues. I had other issues after that. So life continues. So I am a two-time cancer survivor. I was first diagnosed with thyroid cancer when I was 36 years old. It happened in a really unusual way. I woke up one morning and I had some puffiness like under my eye. And I thought, oh, I ate something, I'm having an allergic reaction, I, played with a cat and I'm allergic to something, I ate some shellfish. It didn't go away, so I had it for a couple of days and it was itchy and I said, let me get myself to an eye doctor. So I went to an eye doctor. And we'd gone through my family history, and my family history included a sister who had thyroid cancer 4 years earlier, and my father who had thyroid cancer and had died from thyroid cancer 2 years earlier. And so this eye doctor, who I thought was going to talk to me about, an allergic reaction that I was having to some shellfish or something like that, said, I think you should probably go get your thyroid checked. I said, oh, okay, sure. So my sister had been treated here at NYU, and I went to my sister's endocrinologist, got an appointment right away, and he examined me, examined my neck, did the usual exam to palpate the neck to see if there's any growth that somebody might feel. Absolutely nothing. He said, but because of your family history, I'm going to send you for a sonogram. Sonogram is an easy test. They'll just, run a scan over your neck. Let's see what it shows. And there you have it. I had a growth on my thyroid that I never would have known that I had it not been for my sister, my father, and an eye doctor who was connecting the dots for me. Because I never would have believed that puffiness in my eye could have resulted in having thyroid cancer. Thyroid cancer for me was sort of a good cancer. The type of thyroid cancer I had required that I have surgery to remove the thyroid. I take a pill every day. I had some radioactive iodine right after, where people came into my hospital room in sort of spacesuits, and it was a little scary, and everything had to be wrapped in plastic, and nobody could touch me, and I felt like I was living in a movie. It didn't seem real. But after that, it was a very easy cancer to have, and so I felt very lucky. And so my second cancer diagnosis sort of came in a similar but different way. And my second cancer diagnosis came when I was 47 years old. I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And again, I had absolutely no symptoms. I had no pain, I had no bleeding, I had no difficulty going to the bathroom. None of the things that suggest, maybe you should go have your colon looked at. But what I did have was a mother who had been diagnosed with colon cancer when she was in her late 70s. And so my physicians here at NYU knew my family history, and so they had recommended to me when I was in my early 40s that I start getting preventative colonoscopies, just test you earlier. So I had a colonoscopy, I think, when I was 42, and then I had another one when I was 45, all completely normal. And then I was talking to my internist here at NYU, and he said, let's do another one. Okay. Routine colonoscopy, comes back stage 4 colon cancer. For me, again, very lucky. The cancer was in the part of the colon that could just be surgically removed, and it was. The cancerous part was removed. The rest of my colon was resected together, and I was told that I needed to undergo chemotherapy. For colon cancer, for those of you who don't know, it is a 6-month chemotherapy regimen. I had a port put in my chest so that I could have my chemo treatments through the port in my chest instead of having IV treatments. I went every 2 weeks for 6 months. Chemo was hard for me. I had reaction to some of the drugs, so they had to figure out how to infuse it more slowly. So instead of having an infusion that lasted 6 hours, I had infusions that lasted 8 to 10 hours. It was every other Wednesday for 6 months. And then on Thursday, I'd leave chemo with a pump that I had connected to a fanny pack. And it had a drug that had to infuse into my system for the next 2 days. I guess it's so powerful they can't give it to you in a shorter period. So I had to wear it and go home with a fanny pack with a pump connected to the port in my chest. And when the pump was done, I could either return to the hospital or I could disconnect it myself. I learned how to disconnect it myself, which seemed really scary, but then it was actually quite empowering. It's crazy, but it made me feel good, like, hey, I'm in control of this. I can do this. I'm capable of this. And so that was all in 2012. It ended in 2012. And so I've been cancer-free ever since. So that's a great story. So I guess my experience, of course, and that's why this is called The Faces of Cancer, everybody's story is different. I had no symptoms. I had no pain. I was lucky that I listened to my own body, that I went to the doctor, that I had the confidence to do that. And so for me, some of the advice that I give to other people whenever they're going through something medical is, you better go to the doctor and check that out. Don't be afraid. Go. It's better to know. It's better to deal with it. Knowledge is power. Getting it early is power. We live in New York City. We have the best doctors available to us. Don't be afraid. Don't pretend something isn't bothering you. And so, I don't know what made me go to that certain eye doctor who saw the puffiness in my eye and helped me figure out I had thyroid cancer. I mean, it's a crazy story, but that's my story. And so I always tell, yes.
Did you test for any genetic mutations? I mean, a sister, a dad, you?
We did all the tests. No. I mean, NYU is really interested in our family and testing for all of that. And people ask, like, did you grow up in Chernobyl? I mean, like, what? Because I have a mother that had colon cancer and kidney cancer, a sister with breast cancer, I myself, thyroid and colon. I mean, I need extra sheets when I go to the doctor. I can't fit it all in that little space. And there's really no explanation for any of it. But I guess my message to people is, you know your body. You know when something's not right. Trust yourself. It's scary. Yes. But better to know. Better to deal with it. We have resources available to us in this city that people all over the world wish that they had. We're very blessed. I'm not a religious person like you are, but your story really moved me, and that you had the comfort of your church is fantastic. I had the comfort of my friends and my family and my coworkers, all of whom just really supported me. I had a structure at work. I wanted to keep working. It helped me. It helped me have a routine through my chemo. Like 1 week I would work Monday through Friday. The next week I would work Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday I would go in for my 8 to 10 hour infusion. And then Thursday and Friday I would go home with my little pump in my fanny pack. And then I would disconnect it on Friday. And then woohoo, I had the weekend, and then started all over again. Now that seems crazy. People said, why did you work so much? Even my coworkers said, slow down, take it easy. You don't need to come to the office every day. I wanted to feel like a person. I wanted to get dressed every day. Okay, some days maybe I didn't look so good. Maybe I looked a little green. Maybe I felt a little green. But I needed to be around, for me, I needed to be around people. I needed to think about something else other than the fact that I was going through cancer treatment. That helped me. It's not for everyone. Some people might think what I was doing was not what's right for them. And what you learn about cancer is there is no right, there is no wrong. What is good for one person is totally not what's good for another person. So I'm not here trying to tell anybody how they should deal with the situation. But for me, that helped me through. My coping method was not to meditate, because I never meditated before. So I think I tried it and I was like, this isn't for me. But it was to keep up with the things that were important in my life. I would take time and set up like appointments to meet friends for coffee on the days I knew I felt good. Just to have a structure, a place to go, somewhere, something else to focus on. Because cancer seems all-encompassing when it's happening. And then, look at me, I'm now 7 years without cancer. So, I have a new knee. I've had 3 knee surgeries since my cancer. So like I said, the health issues continue, but obviously not nearly as serious, although a total knee replacement is really hard recovery. But what I'm saying is that, just because you have a cancer diagnosis, it's not, for some people, yes, they're diagnosed late. For me, I was diagnosed very early. So I always try to encourage people, don't be afraid. Go. Find out. Those months that you might wait, if you wait months, or some people wait years. Some people, are afraid to go for a mammogram because, their mother had breast cancer and maybe something will be found, so they just don't go. I mean, that, to me, it's not for me to judge them, but I say go. Try to find the strength to go because it's better to know, it's better to deal with it, and there really can be life after cancer. So it's not always, it's very hard and everyone goes through different things and it affects people in different ways, but I feel very lucky and I hope that some of what I've shared with you has given some meaning or maybe some information about whatever you're going through right now. So thank you very much, everybody.